at a time when, even now, I would think women musicians are expected to have a certain, softness and demure behavior, both in their singing and in their demeanor, right? You're both in the padradhu, and that was the culture then. At a time like that, you broke that mold. You sang with abandon. And you incorporated what was essentially, in many ways, Western concepts. Like, I think you were one of the first few artists to seek out a voice culturist and work with them. So, how did that happen? What gave you the courage to do that? To say, hey, I'm not going to do that soft, shrill voice. I'm going to do this open-throated kind of singing. How did that happen? What gave you the courage?
I have to be careful not to get too biographical because her questions are touching upon different, very subtle areas of one's emotions and lives. But at the outset, I would like to say that Sai, my dear husband who is here, we knew each other as children. The families knew each other as children, though never did I or he, I'm sure, dreamt that we were going to actually get married. We were just friends, family friends. And when I finished my inter, we got engaged and we got married. So I was 18 when I married Sai. So much of the shaping of me as a person has happened after I married him. So, and I must tell you that I think to bear the brunt of a woman like me, who is so self-expressed, who has no demure bone in her body to save her, should have been a big challenge for Sai, and thank you for putting up with me for 50 years now. We've been married, more than that. So, so yeah, I suppose the spouse, if they don't judge you and don't curb you, and they allow you to be as you are, I think is the greatest service that a spouse can do to any other spouse. And I had been fortunate, not only Sai, but my parents-in-law, frankly, they were not heavily into music. They didn't understand much of what I sang. In fact, one of the distant relatives in my in-laws' place also once told my mother-in-law, "Ennadi o maattu ponenamo iluthu paadaraale, ennadi paadara அப்படின்ல கேட்டிருக்கா. இதெல்லாம் நடந்திருக்கு. But my in-laws and Sai stood by me because they said, you know what you're doing, you do it. But that doesn't mean that I had to play my part well too, and I will take credit for that too. Because if ek haath de, ek haath le, that's how life works. But if every force in your life balances, then you really manage to get along in life. And so I did try to curb my so-called body language, sit still, try to sing like a proper female singer. I did try that, but I couldn't do it. It just is not in my temperament. So I said, to hell with it. I will sing what I can, what I know, what I enjoy. If I don't, my aim, by the way, was not to become a famous musician. And that I want to underline here, that had I started out with that aim, I would have probably transformed myself in many ways. But that was never the agenda. I just wanted to be expressed. And so I just started singing whatever I liked, whatever I picked up, whatever I had learned, whatever I had not learned, but only listened to and liked. In the Madri Panni, slowly, before I knew it, I was like building on the foundation of what my guru, Brinda Ma, gave me. But remember, my mother had given me another strong foundation even before my Brinda Ma entered my life, because she was a disciple of Alathur Venkatesayar. And that was a style where your laya pudippu, or we say the holding of your grounding, in your singing is very strong. So that foundation my mother laid. then came Brindama, and then came all these other influences. So I was like smoothly, and with time, it took time. All these things take time, and mine was never a quick fix kind of a story. In fact, as I told Sharda, finally, when I moved to Chennai, it was 2002, and I don't mind letting it out, I was 50 then. Imagine coming to Chennai at the age of 50 and trying to make something out of being known and you just wanted to, having come this far, you felt, okay, I should try my luck. And my children actually, my daughters, they prodded us. They said, Amma, you have done, finished, we are grown up, we are out of the house, you should now go and try your luck in Chennai. And Sai agreed and my in-laws agreed, we came here, but it was not easy to be accepted. And it was, we thought 2 years and then we'll go back if nothing works out. But God has been kind. So, mine has been a very organic, osmotic, slow, gradual kind of a flowering of a musician. And sometimes people ask me, do you regret? I say no, because I was there with the children when they needed, not that I didn't perform, but very little. And then as they grew, I also grew. They went out, I went out. So I think it was a good balance. So no problem.
Wonderful, fascinating.